Hi everybody, I'm Stacey with Stacey's Organizing and Decorating for Life. I am here to help you organize your thoughts and decorate your perspectives. So today our topic is going to be about how to know when just to have boundaries or how to know when just to cut people right out of our lives. So if you like that that's the topic today, please hit the like and subscribe button below. Before we get started, I want to remind you to read down below the disclaimer so you can see what I am and what I am not. But I also want to thank all of you who have been subscribed to my channel for the past couple of years and who have shared these shared and subscribed to these videos and encouraged other people to do so too. I want to thank you for the growth of this channel and these new subscribers that I have. And I want to thank the new subscribers that I have, and I hope that you'll continue to watch. And if you have an idea for a topic, again, in the disclaimer box below or the description box below, you can see how to reach out to me, and I would love to connect with you. So thank you so much. So let's get into our topic today. We're going to talk about, when we have relationships with people and disagreements, because this is a big time of disagreements. There's a lot of things that are going around right now, whether we have political disagreements, we have moral disagreements, there's all of this right now, and societal disagreements, how this all has manufactured. First off, when we look at how it all has manufactured is, for marketing, they want to tell us what we want and what's going to make us feel better, and then they can kind of make you feel bad if you're not having that, so people have bought into this. This is kind of a codependent belief system that they've tried to get us to buy into, is that, they can tell us what we need in our lives, So a lot of people have looked at the materialistic way of how to do things, but really it's about healing our souls. That's what this channel is about. It's helping you heal your soul so that you can grow. This channel is not about villainizing and victimizing. It's about how we're going to heal and empower ourselves and ourselves and our souls and other people so that we can continue to grow, to be united and not divided. So I hope that that's some kind of vibe, the same kind of vibe you want to raise in this universe. So when we look at these things, when we look at healing, we have to look at forgiveness. And what forgiveness requires is a self-inventory. Because all these thoughts and opinions have been developed over the way that people grew up. And we live in an electromagnetic universe. And when we can just remember that and forget all these different personalities, we know that there is attraction and compulsion, adhesion and cohesion. So there's, we want to be attracted to like-minded people, but it doesn't mean that we villainize people who don't believe like us. It doesn't mean that they're less of a person. I know many people who believe politically and morally different than I believe, and I can respect that. So this week I did a quote, and it says that setting boundaries is being true to yourself while respecting someone else. This is how we get into the boundaries part. But firstly off, we sometimes have to get into the forgiveness part because we develop resentments, and the resentments require forgiveness. One of the most pivotal informations that I received, and of course how I receive information, was a man, I'll call him just Q. He stated, when people have to overcome some unthinkable situations in their life, and we're taught we have to forgive somebody who hurt us immensely, and we look in recovery, what is our part in it? And sometimes it's hard to see how we could play a part when we were indeed really feeling like a victim. The part is not to feel like a victim, because that's not empowering you. That's not a story that you want to carry with you all your life, probably. I know I don't like to feel like a victim. So it's a story that we don't want to carry within ourselves, selves, and soul all of our life, because it eats away at us, right? I mean, have you ever felt like a victim? I have, and it ate away with me, and I kept telling the same story, and it seemed like the more I told the story, the more of a victim I became, because it's energy, like we talked about, that adhesion and cohesion. So it's oftentimes, when we see people who their families have been struck by tragedy and violence, that they are able to forgive the people the perpetrator who caused this pain on their family, and that's really huge for people, and we really love it, admire and respect that. So forgiveness, being able to see, as some faiths say, the splinter in your own eye, or being able, to reach a bar that you set for other people, because a lot of times we can't see the splinter in our own eyes. We can't reach the bar that we're trying to have for other people to reach, and forgiveness requires that self-inventory, that self-discovery about, why did I come this way? Why do I have this resentment? When we can figure that out and quit playing that same story over and over, then we can heal. So sometimes healing requires, when we come from different families or come from different relationships or the job situations, and some of these things where we cut people out, they're toxic. So you do have to cut out toxic relationships. That might be what it takes, because just because we forgive people doesn't mean we put up with bullshit. That's just the thing. But it's also that we don't have to assassinate their character and villainize them, because they're hurt and they're wounded too. Because when we talked about control and self-sabotaging in the last video, that's where it comes from, is us, all of us, we control because we don't want to be hurt, But we all want to be heard. So I almost said heard, but hurt. We don't want to be hurt, but we all want to be heard. So this is being able to respect other people and let them say what they need to say. But sometimes the boundaries have to come from when you see these things on Facebook, to be able just to scroll right by and understand that they aren't here to make us happy with their thoughts, opinions, and belief systems. That just wasn't what they were put on earth to do. Sometimes it may challenge us. The thing is that where there would be no need to have boundaries if we didn't have challenges, and those boundaries sometimes have to start with ourselves. So I sometimes tell clients that, maybe you have to just agree that you're just going to go to this event, this family event, or this family function for maybe an hour. Maybe you can just pop in for 15 minutes, because we love these people. They also had their good side. It's just maybe they want to talk about politics, or maybe they want to talk about their moral ideas. Maybe they feel the need, because society would have people feel the need to feel valid by other people. This is why so many people are fighting right now, because they don't feel validated by other people. But when we get a self-esteem, we understand that we don't have to be validated by other people. But sometimes we didn't get self-esteems growing up. This is, from the resentment, the forgiveness part. So this is where all that plays in together, is that we develop a self-esteem. When we develop a self-esteem, we're able to develop respect for ourselves and respect for other people. Hence, this is why we can either sit with people for a certain amount of time, setting a boundary that I'm going to sit with this amount of time, or I can sit here as long as we don't talk about politics or moral values, because I love you and I respect you, but I also have my own, and it's okay. And yours are okay too, but we don't have to talk about them. That's setting a loving boundary. Sometimes you maybe can't say that, because maybe that person wants to walk all over you. And this is when, you have to set those boundaries with yourself of setting a certain amount of time you can sit with the person, because sometimes people do enforce their opinions and belief systems on other people, and that's not cool. If they continue to do so and assassinate your character, that would be verbal abuse, and you need to cut that person out. So then when we talk about society as a whole right now, and I'm going to say a prayer at the end of this, I'm going to change a few words of it, but it's a prayer that I sent to one of my girls, because there's people cutting people out of their lives, and sometimes it's necessary. And so the best thing to do to keep, is to pray for other people, or to send that energy like I'm talking about in this electromagnetic field, however you choose to do that. So I'm going to change a few words, and I'll explain that in a minute. But I first want to explain codependency and narcissism, because when I first went to therapy, I was codependent, and she explained to me, because I was verbally abused. And so how this works is that when we deal with a narcissist, and I didn't know what narcissism was until like 3 years ago, and this is not to, these videos, this isn't to villainize a narcissist, because when I'm in my addiction, which I've been clean 25 years, and so I'm not saying I'm not perfect, I'm still not perfect, but when I was in my addiction, I wanted what I want when I wanted it. That's a narcissistic trait. Also, in my codependency, I thought everything was about me, that I had to do everything. That's also kind of narcissistic. That's taking the power away from other people. And so both of those things, whether you're claiming to be narcissistic or codependent, you're taking power away from other people who could legitimately do things for themselves. So why do we do that? That's a lack of self-esteem. So we have to have compassion, or we don't have to have compassion, but it would make us feel better to have compassion for this other person, while we may still yet have to walk away. Because this is the thing, is that the narcissist needs this thing called supply, as does the codependent, because we need somebody to supply us with compliments when we're in this codependent part. And the narcissist, they love bomb, they hover, they build you up, because in the beginning you probably are everything that they say that you are, but they don't love themselves, you see. So then what happens is when the newness wears off and they start to see these flaws, they start devaluing you, because they devalue themselves, okay? So then you start getting devalued. So they start saying, you would do better if you did this or you did that. And oftentimes this could be like what I think is the exploitation, is that they're trying to make you be something else other than you're not, or to try to ride you, to make them feel better. That's, so they want you to make them feel better by being something else other than what you are, because they're not happy with what they are, okay? So what I'm saying is that we mirror and reflect our wounds to each other. And so that's why I talk about healing so much, And then what happens is when you get devalued, then there starts this gaslighting thing. And what gaslighting thing is in crazy making is that, you know, they may say that you said something you didn't say, and you may say that they said something. So it starts going back and forth because you're gonna tell them, well, you said this, and they'll be like, no, I didn't say that. And then they're going to tell you that you said this, and you're going to be like, no, I didn't say that. So it goes back and forth. So that gets into this crazy making thing. They find out what you like, and they threaten to take it away, you see, because that's where they gain the power, is they gave you so much in the beginning, and so they threaten to take it away. When they find out what you don't like, they jab you with it, because then that gives them more power. So it's all about this power struggle between the two of you, and you're feeling less and less, and they're still trying to get their power back, but they're feeling less and less too, because you can't get your power from another person. Your power has to come from within, or source, or whoever you want to get your power from that's more super than you and other human beings too. You know, so anyway, your soul, you know. But so then there comes its discard, because you can't supply them anymore, because they don't love themselves, and so they can't love you. So you're going to get discarded because somebody else is going to look better, and it doesn't feel good when you get discarded. And the thing is if you don't heal from this, you're going to feel discarded again and again and again, whether you're discarded or not, because this gets into it. So then what happens is maybe it gets better. If you start the healing path, it will get better, but you can still feel discarded again, because this is, again, it requires self-inventory. Because when people don't agree with us, say that if you're at a job and they say, I have to let you go because this is what we need now, and so you're going to feel less than. And see, that's the way that the narcissist, a lot of relationships work, is this superiority and less than. And, you know, it's a human thing too, okay? So when somebody breaks up with you, they feel a relief in the beginning because they broke up with you. So everything is a mirror, and you're feeling like shit. Well, what happens oftentimes is that after a while, they feel like shit, and you're relieved because you worked through the healing process, and maybe they didn't. So what happens is it compounds. If we don't work on the healing now, we're going to work on it later, or not, and then just keep getting what we get. See, if you want what somebody's got, you've got to do what they did. If that's the healing process and the empowerment that you want, then that's that way. But if you still want to remain a victim, or if you still want to feel, you know, the same way, maybe it's going to get a little better, but you're still going to feel the same way. So it's a continued healing process is what I'm trying to say. But hopefully we can come to a point where we can see it the eyes of love. If somebody's love bombing, gaslighting you, or you know, making you feel crazy, then that's a toxic relationship over and over, this push and pull back and forth. And so you know if it's toxic or not. You know, you can start feeling it. And oftentimes I just explained it because I didn't know when people tell me about narcissism, I didn't know what it was. I knew it wasn't good, but I didn't know what it felt like and what it looked like. And that's why I explained it to you, so that you would know. So you need to leave that. Cut that out, but cut it out with love. You don't have to be a villain in it. You don't have to be a victim in it. We heal. We heal through these things. You can't tell a narcissist they're a narcissist from what I've studied and understand, because it is a mirror. And so they're going to tell you you're a narcissist. Maybe you are, but still it doesn't. Some people in this type of relationship, there's going to be one person who wants to grow and one person who doesn't. Anytime you're in a relationship when a person wants to grow and a person who doesn't, why would you want to be in a relationship with somebody who doesn't want you or want what you want like that? You know, so sometimes you have to lovingly separate and do something else. So this is what this prayer is about, okay? Because I'm trying to get this done, okay? And if you have more further questions, please submit them. I'm going to change the word God to love, because I heard that in a Unity Church changed, and so that everyone can really sense the feel of what I'm trying to extend here is love, because we can love people and cut them out of our life at the same time. You don't have to assassinate their character. You don't have to build up a story. You don't have to be validated for that. You just have to be true to you. You know, like I said, the setting loving boundaries is being true to yourself. Being true to yourself. So, dear love, in releasing this person, I surely feel as though my heart is crushed. I feel as though a limb is gone, a piece of myself now ripped away. Now, whatever it applies to you, whether it's a person or a job, place, or thing, you know, whatever. Change the word. I pray, dear love, for the power to love them so totally that I shall not be in pain, that I shall be free. That doesn't say in pain, that I shall be free. No, it does say in pain. I pray, dear love, for the power to love them so totally that I shall not be in pain. That's a gift, right? For my love, I know, shall set me free. This is true. Let me not be tempted to try to constrict them, either in my actions or in my thoughts. That's not devaluing them. That's not, making them feel bad. May they fly free. May I appreciate the rightness of their need to travel. May I keep my faith in the wisdom of all things, knowing that if that's not for you, then something better will come. The wisdom of all things. May I learn to respect their choices to go where they need to go. If they find another love, may that love flourish for your sake. For truly the ark of love is a blessing on us all. Wherever they go, dear love, please go with them. May they be blessed in all their doings. Please protect them. Bring them joy. May they always be happy. May they always be loved. And may they find their way. Amen, or so it is. And so see, the reason I like this prayer is because we want that same thing for ourselves, do we not? Everything that we're asking for somebody else, we want for ourselves. And that's the way that I was taught to pray in recovery, is that everything I want for myself to ask for to somebody else. This prayer comes from the book Illuminata by Marianne Williamson. I pray on my own a lot today, but I sent this prayer, like I said, to someone just recently, and this book taught me how to pray, how open this prayer is. So I think the next video we're going to do is about, can I pray for myself? Because I've had many people say, I can't pray for myself. But as you can see, we can pray for the highest and best good for other people, and sometimes it starts with ourselves. I hope this video has been helpful. I'm sorry it went a little longer. I do appreciate and respect your time, and I hope you were able to get something out of it that was sublime. I'm sorry, I wanted to rhyme. Anyway, thank you so much. I wish you much love and peace, and I look forward to connecting with you next week. Thank you for looking. You can find this prayer in the comments in the description below. Thank you.